What's up, everybody? Captain Gino here, and we're going to put together something a little bit different today. It's pouring down rain, so I can't really go out and do any fishing. I mean, I could if I wanted to get out there and be soaking wet. It's been raining for the last couple days. So I figured I'd take the opportunity today to take some time and service my reels. It's really important to service your reels to get the most out of them while fishing so they operate properly and last you a lot longer. And let's be honest, today these reels aren't the most affordable thing out there, so you really want to get the most out of it. And it really saves from frustration while fishing, allows you to make longer casts, and just enjoy your trip a lot better. I'm using products that are specifically made for loose reels. You don't have to do that. For the longest time, I would just use reel grease for my gears, and I would use 3-in-1 oil to clean the rest of the components, to remove any grease, dirt, and grime. I'm going to be using products specifically made for each component on the reel. Like the reel oil I'll use for switches and springs and stuff like that. I have an oil made for specifically for the centrifugal braking system, which in the BB1s, they don't have a magnetic brake. They just have centrifugal brakes. So I'm going to be using that product. Also, I'm going to be using Hyperspeed for bearing lubricant, and then there's Super Duty grease for the grease, and then this is Speed Cleanse. This is just like a degreaser type deal. If you want to substitute all this, Lucas makes a 3-in-1. When I was using that, I would just use 90% alcohol and a cotton swab. I'd use the alcohol to remove any grease and grime, which is I'm going to be substituting today with the Speed Cleanse. We'll see how that works. And I would use, like a pen grease for the gears, a heavy duty grease, and I would use 3-in-1 for everything else. So you can do that. I'm just going to be using specific products that are formulated for loose reels for each component, and it's actually made by Lucas Oil. So y'all stay tuned. I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. Most reels you're going to need 10 millimeter for the nut on the side, and a flat or Phillips head for the screws. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this reel and start breaking it down and get this thing cleaned up for y'all. Hopefully we can get through it quick. I got about 20 reels I need to do today. So I picked this one. I might do a couple more. We'll see, but let's get to it, guys. All right, everybody. So it is really imperative when you're breaking down your reel that you put everything in order on preferably a white cloth, some sort of cloth. So that way when you have to put this reel back together, it's going to be easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and start by just removing the side plate here. And take the spool out. I really should have taped my line down. Something I usually do. I did not do. Let's put this off to the side here. Sign plate. That's your centrifugal brakes there. Okay, so now we can start breaking the reel down. Now, when I break this down, I want to be sure these screws are all different lengths. I want to be sure to put those in order, and as well as the parts that come off here. It's important that these parts are in the same direction there. Let me put these over here. I like to have a rag to work over too, so in case you drop a screw or something, it doesn't just bounce and hit the floor. Kind of like that. Put this off to the side here in order, guys. It is important we put these in order. You could probably come over and mix them all around. For me, I've done enough loose reels. I understand how these things go back together, but if it's your first time doing it, it's good to put it in order. Ooh, this thing is dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. This is the first time I've ever serviced this reel. This reel is long overdue. Oh my God, this thing is nasty. There. Yikes, this thing got dropped in the lake too. It is in bad shape. Clean this up a little bit real quick. Where all this stuff doesn't just fall inside my reel when I pull the rest of the components off. Man, that cleaner is freaking awesome. Ooh, I missed a part. All right, now we're gonna need a Phillips head. Pull these plates, this side plate off here. So I like to have the reel facing me like this, and when I place my screws, I'll place them in that order on my napkin, so that way I don't mix up which goes where. That guy. I know I don't mean to pause in the middle here, but I forgot to clean this backside. I don't like any extra dirt and grime getting inside my reels if I don't have to have it get in there while I'm opening them up. So it's a good idea to just kind of clean things up a little bit. A screw here. She's open. Not too terrible inside. Not great. Not too terrible. I'm gonna start by cleaning any dirt and grime inside the reel. It's really not too terribly dirty. I'd say the biggest issue with this reel was that I was guiding and it got stuck on a tree. It was hanging, the lure was not attached to the reel, and it got pulled into the lake. And anytime your reel gets wet like that, it's a really good idea to clean it. Otherwise, I'd like to clean my reels every 3 months or so. So let's see here. Come back with some reel oil. Just put a couple drops in here. Wipe everything down, lubricate everything, protect all your components inside, protect them from water. And this part we got to do until it's dry. You're going to have to keep going over it. It's kind of tedious. Spread this oil around a little bit. Okay. As you can see, I'm still picking up a lot of dirt and grime. But this oil, which, you know, if you don't have this particular oil, this is what I would just take 3-in-1. I take alcohol first. I'd put some alcohol on my Q-tip and I would clean around everything. And then I would come back with 3-in-1 on my Q-tip and continue to clean. That 3-in-1 will help you get everything up. This is their Super Duty reel oil is what I'm using. in place of the 3-in-1. This is just going to help to get the rest of the dirt and grime up, and you know, oil protect and lubricate these parts from corrosion, water, etc. It's really important to not leave a bunch of excess oil inside the reel when you're doing this, because it'll just collect dirt, you know. So you want these things to be protected, but you don't want to have your reel full of oil. So I'm going to go through and just continue to do this until my Q-tip is clean. Throw some bearing lubricant in these bearings here. Looking good, looking good. Pretty clean. I'll just leave a couple little fresh drops in here. And that is done. Okay, this half of the reel is complete. Take a little bit of reel oil here. Just kind of rubbing it over some of the stuff I cleaned earlier, just to kind of protect the finish on my reel. And be sure to hit all my springs. All right. That half of the reel is complete. Let's clean this side up a little bit. Ugh. Got that working. Now this is centrifugal braking cleaner and lubricant. Obviously, if you have alcohol, you can use alcohol to clean these components, and 3-in-1 to lubricate. But like I said, I'm going to be using specific products for each portion of this reel. This is the first time I've actually used these products specifically. I'm curious to see if it's going to be better doing it this way than how I've done it in the past. Now, it's important that every part of this reel, the spool that is going to touch, is properly cleaned and lubricated. All the brass parts, things like that. That's what's going to make this reel perform at its best. Like all these little edges here need to be cleaned. I'm trying to get each one of these little ends of these brakes out so I can clean them off the best I can. That is done. Be sure to clean my shaft really good. Inside my spool. And the bearings. I'm going to wipe these bearings down, and then I'm going to come back through and just put a little bit, just a little drop, kind of work them into the bearings. Try and get any excess oil off. Maybe on the reel. Done deal. There. And by wiping these things down with reel oil in here, you're really helping to protect your product, help protect your reel. I'll just come back and dry them up with the Q-tip. Try to remove it all. But it'll really keep things in good running order for you. This wiped down good, so we need some bearing lubricant. I'm going to come through and hit it. I'm going to leave a few drops in there. Not too much. Spin that around, work it in. One little drop where the shaft goes. And that is it. I am going to take centrifugal brake lubricant. Just come right around this brass one last time. You can do 3-in-1 here instead. Leave a bunch of oil in there, so I'll just wipe it down. Good to go. Now for the meat and potatoes, this part right here. Fun, fun. Alrighty. Got those parts out of the way. Now we gotta get this bad boy clean. Dollar Tree's got cheap toothbrushes. Those things work awesome. Scrubbing down inside of your reels. Break everything up real nice. This part I'm going to get mostly perfect because, look at that. I'm actually going to come back through it with oil. You can use 3-in-1. I'm going to use Lews real oil and wipe all these components down with the oil to remove any little bit of dirt and grime left in the reel. To get inside the reel here. Worm gear clean. I'm taking all the old oil off because I'm going to put all fresh oil on everything. This worm gear is really important. They will wear out on you if you do not maintain them, which is why I'm putting fresh oil on. Grease. Get all that grime out of there. That stuff is just wearing your gears down. You know, that grease will collect everything from the lake, all the slop and gunk coming through your line guide here. Just gonna get down that reel and that worm gear and just jack it up. All of a sudden, before you know it, all your lines loading up on one side of the rod. And I know it seems like I'm kind of moving fast. I'm just trying to get the majority of this gunk out of here, because I'm going to come back through it with oil and clean it again. Look at that. Yeesh. Alrighty. We're looking like we are clean enough to move forward. So all right, we're gonna need a lot more Q-tips. And I'm just gonna take my reel oil and get it all over my Q-tip, like so. And I'm gonna proceed by just wiping everything down with the reel oil real thoroughly. Now that I got a good base layer of the oil on everything, I'm going to come through and remove all the dirt and grime, remaining oil from inside of the reel. I'm filming inside the office. Is it an emergency?
What?
I'm filming inside of my office. Is it an emergency? I'm on camera right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just want to tell you that I signed the contract. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Sorry about that. So remove all the remaining oil. You do not want a bunch of wet stuff inside of your reel. Alrighty, all the dirt, grime, and oil has been removed. Come here and finish removing any excess oil. We need to hit this stuff with some oil as well. Come back and dry it up. The oil's been applied. Same process. Again, you guys can use that 3-in-1 if you don't have all the products I have here. You know, if I was just going to use the 3-in-1 and the grease for the gears, I would be, my first step would be to use the alcohol to clean and then come back with the 3-in-1 to finish cleaning and lubricating. That is done. Okay, set this aside for now. Have our drag brake. Ooh. Pressure plates. Go ahead and get this bad boy cleaned up. I'm finishing cleaning this component with real oil. Get rid of the dirt and grime, the oil left behind. And apply grease to all the gears. It is important you have adequate grease, but not excessive amount. You don't want that grease flying all over your reel inside. So I'm going to push it down in those gears real good. Same process all the way around. You know, if you don't have a real cleaner like I have here, use the alcohol to wipe up any excess grease and gum, and then come back with your real oil, 3-in-1, whatever you got, to finish cleaning. Remove as much of that oil that you apply to clean with as possible, leaving everything dry, but yet protected. Thin coating. Well, this thing was gunked up. When it gets this gunk, this is when you start having problems here. Again, guys, we want adequate, not excessive. Rub that down into those gears. Make sure they are protected, but not an excessive amount. Definitely forgot my Loctite for this part. I'd recommend it. I like to put Loctite on that last screw there. But I'll have to do that off camera because I forgot mine in the garage where I typically do this. Alright, so the last step we have is to finalize cleaning our worm gear. I got the brunt of it done when I first pulled it apart. So that way I didn't knock any more grease and gunk into the stuff I'd already cleaned. Okay, so I'm going to put some real oil in here to finish cleaning this. I'll work that around a little bit. Looking really clean. I like it. Throw some grease in there. Be sure after you clean it, guys, your settings are set back to the way you want them to before you go hook into a giant fish and regret it. Proper way to deep clean a reel.